Hey, thanks for checking out my vlog. So, last night I pulled a pretty stupid move. You may or may not have noticed. You probably noticed that I was laying, I was doing my vlog laying in my bed. Just 'cause, I'd been standing for 8, 9, 1 to 9. Yeah, that's 8 hours. Yeah. I'd been standing for 8 hours on end because of my job, and I just wanted to get off my feet, but still do some work. The problem with that is I wound up passing out, literally doing work on my project. I was, as you guys know, trying to find talent for my videos, for my mini-series on the school dress code. But I wound up passing out, and yeah, where the hell was I going with that? And waking back up at like 4 in the frickin' morning, realizing that I still had my lamp on, my contacts were in, I was still completely dressed and everything with the exception of my shoes, and it was just bad. And my phone wasn't even on the charger, so it was down to 4%. 4. Count it. 4. 4%. Meaning, plug me in now. Anyway. So, yeah, I wound up, straightening myself up, getting a couple more hours of sleep, and, literally waking up. I went to check on my, microphone, to see if my microphone was in from Guitar Center. It still isn't, but no worries. They said, I thought I heard the guy say 1 to 3 days, whenever I went back in there. They corrected me and they said that the guy that was there probably said more like 3 to 5 days. I'm like, okay, because that actually sounded more reasonable, so I wasn't gonna make a big deal out of it. Yeah, went over to Guitar Center, and I literally went from Guitar Center to work. And yeah, tonight, as you can tell, I am sitting in my chair, and so, it still gets me off my feet, but it's not so comfortable that I would wind up falling asleep in. I shouldn't say that because I've actually done that before. Not as easily. I'll put it that way. Not as easily. I would wake up sooner. Anyway. Yeah, I'm in my chair tonight, and I figured that's probably gonna be best. The only thing is that I can't necessarily edit. Now, I know that I need to get to editing. I want to get to editing because I want to get at least, this is essentially what I'm working on for the DJ that I shot with over at Pieres. This is essentially going to wind up being a title logo. It's kind of like with the Paramount thing, how the stars go over the mountain like that. That's essentially what this is going to wind up being, is just like that little sequence of, different clips like that, what to expect within the video. So I want to go ahead and get that done, knocked out of the way. Trying to think. And that's pretty much it. I'm just waiting for him to get back to me about what gigs he wants to have a video done with. I've got a birthday party that I'm going to be shooting for a friend. It's actually this friend's daughter. Yeah. Got that coming up. So that's going to be... I want to start looking into doing shooting birthday parties, because a lot of the time, the parents will be shooting with their smartphone or whatever like that, but that takes them out of the moment. It takes them out of the moment for being with their kid. Whereas first of all, smartphones only have so good a resolution, everything like that. They're only so good at quality. My camera is definitely better quality than what any smartphone camera quality is, with the exception of like Samsung Galaxy S3. Apparently it shoots in 4K resolution. I'm like, okay, yeah, because, the next thing we know, we're going to be able to shoot, Transformers Michael Bay style videos on our smartphones. Anyway, that was completely off the wall. But yeah, I'm going to look into start and shoot birthday parties as well, because, me being a professional, it's my job to catch, people in their moment. It's my job to capture the moment. You know, you can't very well capture the moment and be a part of it. And let's face it, as being, you know, a family member or a friend or whatever like that, that's, you know, part of the party, you should be able to be part of the moment, not the one capturing the moment. I'm going to be the one capturing the moment, because I'm not really part of the party per se. Yeah, that's basically it. Just those two things. Yeah, it's gonna be real simple tonight. Wow, I'm already at 5 minutes. Okay, so I did decide to go ahead and start in on the the club video from Pieres with DJ Old School. And I guess I took 2 shots. I did 2 shots that were 60 frames a second for a slow-mo of the bartender pouring a couple of drinks. 1 drink per shot. And using basic math, I figured that, you know, I've been doing 30 frames a second as a standard. And then, you know, 60 frames a second, I simply slow it down to being 50%, which I can do either 50% or time starts with the actual length of time for the clip. And I actually, 50% was not enough. Even with the math of, you know, 60 divided by half is 30, keeping 30 frames a second, it wasn't slow enough. It wasn't really slow enough to do a good slow-mo effect. So I went that much more. I went down to 25 frames a second, and I'm actually very surprised with how good it still came out looking. Check this out. Okay, so I've actually still got both of these clips slowed down to 25%, so I'm going to go ahead and just undo both of those back up to 50%. Hope I don't have to render everything out again. Shouldn't have to, it doesn't look like. Nope, okay. So, this is what 60 frames a second slowed down to half percent time looks. See, you can't really even tell that it was slowed down very much until, I'm going to say until a certain point, kind of right there-ish, you can kind of make out that it was slowed down. Yeah, right there you can make it was slowed down, but not very well. And then this next shot, again, you can't really tell that it's slowed down very well except for whenever I'm moving the camera, which technically is all the time because I don't have any stabilization to it. But at the same time, you know, I'm still keeping it fairly stable. But see, even with that, you can't really tell very well that it was slowed down, except for whenever he spills it. Now, I'll go ahead and redo the slow-mo back down to 25% on both those clips. Hopefully I don't have to re-render. Awesome. Okay, so then this is 25% at 60 frames a second, which, technically speaking, is... oh god, what's a fourth of 30? I don't even freaking know right off the top of my head. Math is never my strong suit. Let's just go with, check this out. Okay, so, this one you can definitely tell. It's slowed down. It still looks fine. That might just be because of the fact that I'm not really used to doing slow-mos right now, but to me it still looks fine at least. Definitely passable. I can actually just now notice that there's a little bit of graininess in some of this, particularly the rim of this cup whenever it was closer up, whenever I have my camera closer up to the rim. Right there. I'm not sure if my smartphone's camera will be able to capture that, but there's a little bit of graininess around the edge, picture quality wise, of the rim of the cup. But other than that, you really get a slowed down effect of the drink pouring. This one is good. Personally, I think the next one is better. I'm just gonna, yeah, right here especially, you can definitely tell that, you know, it was really slowed down. Yeah, you can definitely tell a hell of a lot better now. Okay, and then the next one, He gets the bottle put down. Yeah, you can definitely tell a lot better that it was a slow-mo effect. Come on, any time now. No pun intended. Okay, so here we go. This is the part, yeah. See? And not only do you get a little bit better sense of, the water coming up through the ice, but I also get this angle too right here, which is a little bit different angle for me. Plus you get the splashing. I really like the splash. I really like the splash. Hopefully my computer doesn't hiccup as I'm backing up. But yeah, I really like how that splash turned out too. It's just a little bit, nothing major to worry about, but it really looked good for an effect. So I'm keeping the second one and deleting the first one, and that's actually going to wind up being the first part, the opening, the first part of this video, which essentially it's a title logo, if anything. So, I really like how that turned out. I'm gonna have to cut it up. I'm gonna have to trim the beginning and end so that way, maybe even the middle. I don't know. I might. Okay, I'm really liking how this came out. I may try to trim it down a little bit more, but so far I'm loving how this came out. Check this out real fast. Okay, so essentially what I did was I took the one clip, I basically took that whole pouring scene, divided it in half as to where it starts, and then took the other, and then divided it in half again, and then split the one half up into thirds, so that way, because it wasn't exactly half. So I had to play around with it to get it to match the time frame, to get the second half to match the first half of the time. So, and this is what I've got. It's a simple, small, little, tiny detail thing, but this is the first time that I've worked with slow-mo before, and this is actually the only slow-motion shot that I've got in this whole video, so I'm pretty pleased with what I've come up with. I'm going to work on more with different projects, obviously, but so I'm liking how this is turning out so far, definitely. Okay, so the next part in this is to be able to have, what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to have the clips fly, like, into your face. Like, they're coming at you. So, this is going to be fairly interesting because I've got 3 clips here that I want to, essentially, they're supposed to look like one clip. With the obvious exception that they are chopped up and jump clips. But, they're essentially the same clip that I've simply chopped up a little bit. And it's going to be really interesting because each one is on its own keyframe, timeline. So, however small I want to start out and however much I want one clip to grow, the next one has to follow suit perfectly, as does the next one after that. So, yeah. This is going to be interesting. Okay, yet again, I'm very pleased with what I've come up with. Check this out. Again, it's just a little thing. I didn't really do very extravagant editing with it, but I'm going to go back to the fact that this is the first time I've worked with slow-mo before. So, yeah. Actually, no, it's not. It's just the first time that I've worked with slow-mo at this level. I've worked with slow-mo before, but never really quite like this. Never quite in this kind of depth. I've worked with slow-mo as like a background thing, like I lowered the opacity over a clip that was slow-mo whenever it was right in front, and that turned out decent, but this is the fact that the slow-mo is literally the main focus. I remember Electric Summer, whenever I did that video, there was a point as to where I used the DJ dropping the glow sticks on the table. 60 frames a second, slowed it down halfway, and then lowered and then put that clip on top of another clip that was the DJ on the stage, and then lowered the opacity so that way it would be like kind of like a backdrop. But that wasn't a slow-mo that was really in your face. That was more of a subtle slow-mo. This is a slow-mo that is right there in your face. So that's basically the main difference. You know what, I just decided that I probably don't even want that other shot of the bartender grabbing the glass and pulling it away. I think I'll just stick with the pouring because of the fact that I don't want to have one clip that's flying into the screen of drink pouring, and then have another clip, the same drink that's being pulled away. That wouldn't make any sense. That just wouldn't make any sense. It's like, because as you get the one clip that's coming to you and then it disappears, you want to go on to the next thing. So I'm just gonna take out that one clip of the bartender pulling away the drink, because that just doesn't make any sense for me to put it in there. And there's not really a good way. I can't think of a good way to. I just don't really I just can't really think of a good way to keep it in there. So that's not that. The slow-mo is more for the drink pouring than what it is for the drink to be pulled away, because in all honesty, the drink is being spilled a little bit. So I do kind of lose the drink going into the straw going into the drink, but again, that doesn't really create as much of an effect as what the drink pouring does. Whenever the drink is going all around the ice and it's coming up, and then I get the other angle. I cut to the other angle of over the top of the drink and everything. So I think I'll just take out that one part. Done. Okay, so I was looking for some sort of a dissolve, or some sort of a dissolve to be able to go from the drinks, and I wanted the drink to dissolve, like completely, like vanish, dissolve, and then show the next clip coming in, like that. And I stumbled across this one dissolve that I really like. It's difficult to explain. I'll just show you real fast. Okay, let's look down here real fast. Apparently, it is called a cross dissolve. Okay, and this is essentially what it does. Check this out. It takes the clip that's like, in front, like that clip right there. If I put it on a clip behind it, it actually does this. That's the clip that's right here. Shit. That's a clip that's right there. I didn't know about this, because see, look what it does that. It like overlays it or something. I don't know. That's really cool. That's really cool that it does that, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to use it. At least not for this. I mean, maybe?